USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for this day.
Welcome to Wrestling with Heart, a podcast looking at pro wrestlers giving back to their community. Join me, Stanley Carr, as I interview wrestling's hottest names who use their platforms as entertainers to raise awareness and do community service. Hello and welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Heart. This is the show where we talk with professional wrestlers and professional wrestling personalities about their lives in and outside of the ring, as well as doing acts of charity work, community service, volunteering, and spreading positivity. We're always about the positive vibes here on the show, and with me right now I've got a very special guest. You might remember her as a Nitro Girl from WCW. I'm pleased to welcome the one, the only, Tygress, a.k.a. Vanessa Wiley. Welcome to Wrestling with Heart.
Thank you so much, Stanley. So happy to be here.
All right, it's my pleasure. So where are you from?
Originally from New York. Born and raised there for about 18 years and then moved to Atlanta, where I spent the majority of my life. And that's when I actually got into wrestling. And then since then, I moved to the Carolinas. So I've been in North Carolina now for about 5 to 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you kind of moved all around the country.
A little
See
bit.
different places, and incredible. So now, were you a fan of wrestling as a kid growing up before entering the business?
I was. I remember my sister would come over. I must have been, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, that time frame. Come over, and I think it was maybe then every Wednesday. A long time ago, so I can't really remember, but once a week she would always come over and we watch wrestling together. So Jimmy Superfly Snuka was my favorite. I still have a doll of him. So that was the main character that I was in love with when I was growing up.
Did you know at a young age you wanted to be in entertainment before getting the chance to work in WCW?
So I would say yes, but my path was pretty unusual to get into wrestling. So I was always a dancer as a kid. My mom had me taking dance lessons, so ballet, tap, jazz. And so I pursued that for a very long time. When I went to college, I started a dance company. Then I started working for Deloitte. It's a consulting firm. And really weird, I was a CPA and I was doing external auditing for Fortune 500 companies. But I miss dancing. And so the company afforded me the opportunity to take summers off. And so during the summer months, I would pursue dancing and also acting and singing. And so during one of those hiatuses, I was offered the opportunity to work for WCW as a Nitro Girl. I was fortunate enough because it doubled my salary. I was working like 70 hours a week or something, bananas like that. And so I worked a lot less at WCW. And so, my mom thought I was crazy to leave. It was actually one of the top 6 accounting firms at the time, to go to a wrestling outfit to go dance right in the middle of the ring. But I was like, Mom, I'm young. I could always get back into this industry. I think it's going to be a really great opportunity. And it truly was.
Yeah, I mean, you took a risk and took a gamble on it. And the Nitro Girls definitely were such a phenomenon. It really was the highlight, one of the biggest highlights of the program. How did the world of dance kind of prepare you? I mean, obviously you're dancing on national television, but how did the world of dance prepare you for the life as a Nitro Girl?
Yeah, I would say the dancing part was the easy part. The the complications of the wrestling business, I don't know if it really prepared me. Lots of big personalities, lots of competition. So that kind of thing didn't fare well for me. But what was great about it is I had a sisterhood in the Nitro Girls. So developed these really strong relationships that I trusted in and still today have and cherish. So having those girls by my side kind of helped me navigate through kind of the craziness of the business. But once you get your footing in there, you kind of know what to expect, and then it's like, okay, I can handle this.
Yeah, and you're bound to run into all these different people. I mean, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, DDP, just to name of the few of the people that were there that you got to meet and rub shoulders with. Um, kind of elaborate a little bit on how you got recruited into the fold as far as working in WCW. Did
Yeah.
you know any of the Nitro Girls prior
Yes.
signing?
So the dance community in Atlanta is rather small, and so Spice used to dance at the same dance studio that I would go practice, and she was the person who invited me to audition for the Nitro Girls. And so lo and behold, auditioned and ended up getting the gig.
I'd imagine it's a little nerve-wracking because you're surrounded by so many people, dancers, wrestlers, personnel management. Uh, were you shy? Did you get confident and comfortable later on?
Yeah, I would say that I was shy. Probably if you were to ask any of the wrestlers, I might have been one of the shyer ones, just because, again, a little bit intimidated by the business side of it and not sure who I could trust and confide in and who I couldn't. So I would say yes, I was a little bit quiet, but then you find your people, you find, those that you feel more comfortable with and you trust. And so then I would say yes, I probably got a little bit more outgoing during my years there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your own segment on Nitro, middle of the ring or on stage, getting the chance to entertain people, traveling. Uh, Talk to me about some of the routines, any favorite dance routines or numbers you got to do while you were in the company?
That's a hard one. There was a solo that I did that I really enjoyed. I don't think we had a name for it, but then there's the infamous chair dance that the Nitro Girls did that I loved. And maybe one that I wasn't in, but two girls, Carmel and Chiquita, Carmel, Miss Jones, they did a dance to the thong song, thong, 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 thong. It was amazing. But yeah, there were so many, and we had to try to keep it fresh every week and do different dances all the time. So I probably, if I thought about it longer, I probably could come up with some more, but those are the ones that at the top of my head I can think of.
Yeah, and like you said, it was a sisterhood because a lot of the Nitro Girls or the Nitro Girls um, looked out for each other.
Yes,
And
and we
to
still
this
do
day,
that.
you've got fans that still remember seeing you all on television. Do you keep in touch at all with any of them today?
Yes, so Fire, she lives rather close to me. She's only about 30 minutes away. So we spent a lot of time together. We hung out last weekend and the weekend before that. So she and I are pretty close. And then Spice, she's about 2 hours away. So I probably see her next often. And then probably after that, it would be Che or Carmel, Miss Jones. Miss Jones was just here. She stayed at my house. What was that? March. So we were able to spend a long weekend. It was actually her birthday, so we had a good time for her birthday. And then other than that, we probably, we text a little bit more with, the other girls, but those are the main ones that I get to see rather often.
Yeah, and when you have that camaraderie, there's really no better feeling because you've got these memories that you share and you go back and look back and like, wow, I really did this.
Yeah.
And I really accomplished this during my time there. Any fun road stories or stories of you all traveling that you recall?
We always made fun of Che because she always had to go to the candy bowl like multiple times a day during the show. But yeah, but lots of good memories. Just being together and fostering relationships.
Yeah, I mean, you take those memories, you keep them and cherish those because those are lifetime memories. Being getting the chance to do that and be on national television. Did you get a chance to wrestle too or manage anyone?
I did. So I was part of the Filthy Animals. So Rey Mysterio was my boyfriend on the show, and so I was his valet. And yeah, talking about stress and something really different was moving into the wrestling aspect of my job when we really weren't dancing anymore as Nitro Girls, but it was a great opportunity. Again, it really stretched me beyond my boundaries. And my boys were so great, like Carlos and Hoovy and Ray, with really supporting me and helping me do a good job, right? Because it was something completely different. And it wasn't like we had years to train to like, then go do it. It was like, you're going to train for about 4 weeks and then you're going to go do it, right? And so Medusa was also really instrumental in training us, the girls who ended up choosing to wrestle. But yeah, really, really great opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to transition from one thing to another, especially when you have less time to prepare. And it seems like you had maybe a few weeks to be able to get the moves down because it really is, it's a tough industry.
Yeah,
You're
it
really
is.
having to go from you're a dancer, now you're becoming a pro wrestler. And I'd imagine that it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it is. And then, I was really young and the things that I agreed to do, I'm like, why did I agree to do that move? Like, because that's crazy. Like, it really could have seriously hurt myself. There was one move that I did, and when I landed, you just saw my neck hit the mat several times, and they were basically about to call the ambulance because they didn't think I was going to be able to walk away from the mat. But fortunately, I didn't get hurt. But you want to be used in the ring, and you want the riders to feel like you're willing to give it a try. And so you basically sometimes will be like, I'll do it, I'll just go ahead and do it. But sometimes I'm not sure if it's the wise decision.
You have to trust your instincts,
Yeah,
trust
yeah,
your guts to know this is the right move you're taking, and you're working with your partner. You have to trust them, and you have to be careful when you're doing it.
that's right.
Um, so outside of the Nitro Girls, any fun stories of interacting with some of the other talent backstage?
Uh, Let me see. This is such a long time ago to try to remember all of the different things that occurred. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would say, the majority of my time was spent with the girls versus the guys. I was engaged at the time. And so I was, again, probably trying to stay a little bit distant. But, like after the show, we would sometimes just go to bars together and hang out and just listen to music. And yeah, it was more of a collective family as opposed to, I can't really think of any specific stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about those fun memories that you share with your friends, and it really is a close-knit group of people that you get to be around for so long, for years, for months. Now, how long were you with WCW?
I was there for 4 years, from 98 to 2002.
Okay, yeah, because they closed like right as right. I believe March of 2001 was when WWE bought out WCW. So
That's right.
it's yeah, it's a crazy time, because WCW was killing it. It was neck and neck with WWE, and all of a sudden, um, your life just changes because what am I going to do? Where am I going to go?
Right.
And the
Yep.
Nitro Girls were such a huge staple of programming.
Yes. Yeah. It was devastating when we got the call that they were going to let us go. But then you just have to figure out what you're going to do next. And for a little bit, I stayed in the entertainment industry, acted, modeled, and also did some singing with the Nitro Girls actually. And then after that, I got back into the accounting world and did that for quite some time. And so then I went into banking for about 17 years, and now I'm doing health and nutrition, which I've kind of found my passion in doing that.
Well, let's talk about that. How did you get involved with health and wellness, and what made you decide to pursue that as a career?
If you were to ask me that I would be doing what I do now as a health and wellness coach, I would have thought you were crazy because, again, I didn't really study it in school. But then when I think about it in retrospect, it really does make sense. So in 2013, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And, probably anybody who's had cancer is like, why me? What did I do to, warrant this unfortunate circumstance on me? And then what can I do going forward to make sure this doesn't reoccur? And so that's when my personal health and wellness journey started. And I did like lots and lots of research, read lots of books, podcasts, all of it. And so I started learning the benefits of an alkaline diet, the benefits of gut health, the benefits of doing cleanses from time to time so that you can get the toxins out of your body. So all this stuff made sense. And I would personally try different cleanses from different companies, and or different books that recommended different things, and some work better than others. But then one of my friends, one of my best friends actually, we always asked each other to try different cleanses together. And so she asked me to do Arbonne's cleanse. And so it was a 30-day cleanse. And at that time, I was experiencing like significant inflammation in my lower back. And I actually have degenerative disc disease. So my two lower discs rubbed together. And then the inflammation was just surrounded in that area. And I was seeing a chiropractor at that point up to 3 times a week. And I saw other NDs, acupuncturists, you name it, I've done it. But then after this cleanse, that inflammation was gone. And so it really focused on gut health. It focused on removing heavy metals from your body. It focused on an alkaline diet, and just eating clean and healthy. And so through that, I just had great results. And so then my husband, we were in Atlanta, he went on a doctor's appointment, just a routine doctor's appointment, and his blood pressure was 190 over something. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take your credit card, you're going to do this cleanse with me. And so we did. And within 2 weeks, his blood pressure was back to normal. And that's when I was like, okay, there's really something special here with this company named Arbonne. And so that's when I decided to join the company as an independent consultant, because I was like, people just need to know about this. And so at that time, I was just like kind of letting people know as I kind of just bumped into them and letting know what happened. And so, that was great. But then I really realized how big of a business opportunity this was. And I can really match my passion with actually, having a living and making a career out of this. And it's been extraordinarily rewarding. The best thing is like when you get a call from a client and that client basically is like thanking you so much for your help. So one of my latest clients, she had her doctor's appointment with her diabetes doctor, and her A1C improved dramatically, and she lost 27 pounds in 90 days, and she's like through the moon. And when you get that call, like I literally get like chill bumps when people are just like thanking me for my efforts on coaching them through this. So it's just super rewarding, and I'm so thankful that I just inadvertently found Arbonne, and now that this is my career.
Yeah, I mean, when you find something you love to do and are passionate about, it just changes you. It changes your outlook on life. It changes your um, ability to think and process things, and you're able to help those people that are going through something.
Right.
And so once you found Arbonne, you decided to take the initiative and go about finding techniques and ways to help others that are struggling and that are um, going through hard times in their life.
Yep, it's absolutely true. Like, I think everybody has some health and wellness goals. And so what I do is I basically cater my approach to whatever their circumstance is. So for some people, weight loss is a goal. For me, it wasn't necessarily the focus. For me, it was how do I get this pain out of my body? So whatever it is, we can tailor a package that would, help whatever that person's health and wellness goals are. Yeah, I've had just so many different successes from people who were having arthritis issues, have improvement, women who were having hot flashes, have improvement. Like, it just, the list goes on and on. Kidney function improving, like things that doctors said would never occur, occurred. So, and I can't say that that would be everybody's conclusion, or that would, would work for everybody. But what I say is, give it a shot, because you have nothing to lose by trying what I offer out, because there also is a 90-day money back guarantee and all these other things that I won't bore you with all of the details. But I do say that if your audience, is struggling with any kind of health and wellness problems, I would love to have the opportunity to at least talk to you to see if what I offer would be a fit.
What has been your favorite part about being a health and wellness coach?
It is definitely the ability to have a positive impact on others. So like I said, I was in banking for 15, 18 years, something like that. And while I was really great at my job, I didn't feel like the personal connection with anything or anyone. I was a risk manager, right? So it's very theoretical. But with me being a health and wellness coach, it's just really rewarding to have that positive impact on other people. That is by far the best part.
Yeah, you just don't know what other people are going through in their life, and you see so many people out there struggling and are trying to find those ways to recover from any illness or sickness. And the more people out there that are able to help those that are suffering, the more healthy our society will be. And so kudos to you for being able to find that passion and desire to want to help others.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, what is it about giving back and helping out in your community that gives you the most joy?
It's the fact that people appreciate it, right? I think we're all here for a purpose. And I think the purpose is to give and to love and to help. And it's how do you find your passion in order to do that, right? And so just the fortunate opportunity of finding this company at a time when I was really looking to positively impact others is everything.
Definitely is. Well, I know you mentioned earlier, you still keep in contact with the other Nitro Girls. Years later, I know like a lot of fans go to these conventions, these wrestling conventions, and they get to run into their favorite superstars. It's got to feel good to be able to hear messages from fans over the years that say, hey, you were my childhood, or hey, I loved watching you growing up. Describe that feeling for me if you can.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And especially, so many years later and people still coming up to you. I was in Vegas actually at an Arbonne convention in a taxi, and the taxi guy looks at me and he's like, you look really familiar. Did you used to be in the wrestling world? And I was like, yeah, it's like, he's like, oh my God. And he like knew all storylines, and he just kept going and going and going. It was just like really incredible. And and again, WCW was a blessing too, at a time. So, just to go back and to know that I, really was entertaining to people and they appreciated what we did. It's just a really great feeling.
It absolutely is. Well, Vanessa, this has been wonderful getting the chance to speak with you. I want to say thank you for coming on to Wrestling with Heart. It means a lot to me and to my listeners and viewers that are watching this on YouTube. Where can people find out more about what you're doing and all your services?
Yep, so I think you're going to put a link down below, so you can hit me up on Facebook, on Instagram, and then also my Arbonne website is also going to be listed. So please reach out again. If you're having any health and wellness concerns or health and wellness goals that you're looking to achieve, I would love to sit down and have a consultation with you to see if what I offer would be a great fit for you.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Vanessa, and you're more than welcome to come back.
Thank you so much. I hope to be back soon.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
This is Wrestling with Heart. I hope you found this podcast to be informative and entertaining. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and look out for the next edition.